Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. I have to calm down. My face is literally hot right now. So I just reacted to Kendrick's diss track on my Patreon. It is up right now. When I tell you this is the longest song reaction I've ever done on Patreon, it's long as hell. I'm gonna have to trim it down a little bit when I edit it, but this is the longest song reaction I've ever done. That diss track evoked so much emotion within me. I'm gonna just leave it. I said what I said over on the Patreon. Link down below if you want to check it out. Anyway, I didn't even say what video we're reacting to. So this is a video by Patrick CC. It's titled Kendrick Responded and It's Bad for Drake. I don't even know what people are saying about this diss track yet. I didn't look up anything related to it because I just wanted to give my genuine first reaction without any noise. I didn't want to hear any, quotes or anything. I was like, no, I'm going into this blind. And I think that's also why, it just evoked so much emotion because I literally had no idea what to expect. But my face is so hot right now. Anyway, yes, I want to hear what he has to say. I'm very curious what people's opinion about this diss track is. I'm very curious. So I guess we're gonna get Patrick's opinion and hear what he has to say. You better be honest, nigga.
I made some predictions in my previous video about the Kendrick and Drake beef, and I gotta say, I am proud of myself. Now, I was not right about everything, but this is panning out exactly the way I thought it would. So Kendrick responds to Drake's push-ups and tailor-made diss tracks with a 6-minute track called Euphoria. And no, this song is not Kendrick doing lyrical gymnastics or writing quintuple entendres like Drake and really all of Kendrick and Drake fans expected. Kendrick is rapping clearly and directly, and I predicted that people would try to downplay Kendrick's record because he didn't write some Shakespearean level diss track, and that's exactly what they're doing. But what Kendrick was really doing, didn't write some Shakespearean level diss track, and
that's all the boogeyman had to offer. That's not enough. Responding with Twitter jokes and race to evoke emotion, very mid. He evoked us. So odd. I use that exact phrase, evoked emotion. But I don't feel like that's why it got a rise out of me at all. Like, what? Very mid. They gonna gas it because he changed voices and flows. Drake up 2-0. Taylor made and push-ups better easily. It's about to get real serious for Kendrick. I'm gonna need you to get Drake dick out your mouth. That's what I need. Cause this is just goofy, and you know what, I'm not repeating my fucking self because I talked for a long time over on Patreon, so I said what I said.
Exactly what they're doing. But what Kendrick was really doing was trying to be as clear and as coherent as possible to break down Drake's intentions and Drake's character in the music industry, so we didn't really have to guess what Kendrick was saying. With that being said, there are a couple bars in here that I do feel like are maybe a little bit deeper than what we're seeing. Like why the record is called Euphoria in the first place. Now, Drake executive produced a really popular TV show called Euphoria.
Oh! Why the fuck y'all didn't tell me? Emmy nomination. But what? Drake was the executive producer for this show? That is very interesting. Great show. Good shit, Drake.
It produced a really popular TV show called Euphoria, and initially I thought this was Kendrick just on...
Honestly, I don't even know what an executive producer does exactly. I mean, I have a very, basic understanding, but as far as it goes for like movies and TV shows, I don't know what they do.
On his genius SEO marketing strategy, every time someone types in Drake Euphoria, Kendrick's song comes up. But then again, one of the main things that happens during the show Euphoria is just teenagers having sex. Why is Drake executive producing a show where teenagers are constantly having sex? But considering that, it made me think about this next bar a little bit deeper. I make music to electrify them. You make music to pacify him. On the surface, Kendrick is just saying his music is exciting and Drake's is boring. But the use of the word pacify could be strategic here. Pacify means to soothe. It's like, pacifying a baby, pacifying a child. And we all know what a pacifier is. So maybe he's kind of leaning into the whole Drake is a pedo type of
That's
thing.
what I wanted him to do, honestly. That's what I was hoping he did. I think I mentioned that in a reaction too. I was like, he might come for, these allegations against Drake. Because that's what Drake is known for.
And Drake did predict that Kendrick would say that Drake likes young girls, and we talked about that before, so there's something cooking there. But as I take you through the rest of the track, there's nothing in this song that's extremely layered. Like, sure, people are going to dissect it to the craziest degree, but for the most part, Kendrick was as clear as he possibly could be. Kendrick starts off the record by doing the classic reverse audio. Ooh, so cryptic. What could it possibly say?
Everything they say about me is true.
Everything they say about me is true. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. Now, Tommy Hilfiger has been long rumored to be an anti-black.
But I reacted to a video on apparently he never even said this, so people just lied on this man for years apparently. But I do recall that always being a thing. Even rappers would rap about it. Game had that song, I Hate Y'all Niggas, made me want to bring back Tommy Hilfiger. So that's always been like the known thing, is that Tommy Hilfiger don't like black people. But apparently he never even said that. It was just all like a smear campaign against him. That's what they said. I really don't know though. What if they just saying that to try to cover it up? I don't fucking know. But I reacted to a whole video talking about that.
Racist. FUBU is a black-owned clothing brand. So Kendrick is basically saying that Drake chooses to side with someone who is allegedly anti-black, but Drake has also worn FUBU before, so I'm not really sure Kendrick is 100% factual here. But one of the main angles throughout this entire diss track that Kendrick takes is actually what Rick Ross has been saying on social media this whole time. That Drake is a white boy, or isn't black enough, or has always tried so hard to be accepted by black culture. How many more...
this picture alone should kind
of anti-black, but Drake has also worn FUBU before.
Does this not look like somebody trying to cosplay as somebody black? Like, come on, this is wild. This look is kind of crazy.
So I'm not really sure Kendrick is 100% factual here, but one of the main angles throughout this entire
and I'm not trying to take away Drake's blackness at all, okay? I'm just going based on what's presented in front of me and giving my comments. I've never, been on the side of, Drake is the white boy, he's only half, but I think that's goofy. He represents, if he, identifies as a black man and, he's half black, then who am I to say he's not black enough? I don't subscribe to that way of thinking, just for the fucking record, because Cole is also half black and half white. So, I don't have that viewpoint. Just putting that out there. But that picture is wild. That picture is goofy. I feel like he probably does feel like he has something to prove. He has to prove his blackness. I do feel like there's some validity in Rick Ross and Kendrick saying that.
The track that Kendrick takes is actually what Rick Ross has been saying on social media this whole time. That Drake is a white boy, or isn't black enough, or has always tried so hard to be accepted by black culture. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough? Kendrick also said, I even hate when you say the N-word. But that's just me, I guess. And then the outro of Euphoria is him saying, nobody wants to hear Drake say the N-word anymore. So there's a beat switch around the 1 minute mark that really turns up the energy. The beginning was slow and somber and almost romantic. I thought my prediction of him making a pop record was going to come to fruition, because if you remember, that's what I thought he should do. So I was like, damn, bro, I might have had this on the money, but it turns up into a rap record for sure. But after the beat switch, Kendrick is mostly focused on making a hot record for the radio. It's not very diss heavy in the beginning, but I thought these bars were funny. The very first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me aim it this way. I didn't point down though. Today I show you I learned from those mistakes. Drake previously said that Kendrick never shot a gun or never did any type of violent crimes. Was this Kendrick saying, yeah, I have shot a gun, and here's the story?
Yeah.
Probably not. This was just Kendrick saying that he's going for Drake's head.
Here's
You know,
the
head
story.
shot. Kendrick said, yet he still go left, and I see two of them kissing and hugging on stage. Now, Drake is known for giving people their flowers on stage and telling the world how great they are, basically kissing and hugging them without actually physically doing it. But there's also a picture of The Weeknd and Drake where they
no, he said the two.
And I see two.
No, yeah, two of them kissing. Because he mentioned the big three prior to this line, I'm pretty sure. And then he's saying that two of the big three is kissing and hugging on stage. So Cole kind of caught a baby straight right there.
Two of them kissing and hugging.
So I don't know why he's mentioning these other people. Unless, am I recalling that inaccurately? I just reacted to it, so I'm pretty sure he said something about the big three. And two of the three is kissing.
On stage. Now, Drake is known for giving people their flowers on stage and telling the world how great they are, basically kissing and hugging them without actually physically doing it. But there is also a picture of The Weeknd and Drake where they look like they're about to kiss, and, you know, the internet's gonna do what it does and Photoshop them actually kissing. He's also saying that Drake goes left, aka Drake is gay, which Kendrick says throughout the song multiple times that he thinks Drake is gay. We hate
Who made that?
Because they confuse themselves with real women. When I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. That's real competition. You might pop ass with that. Kendrick is diabolical for this one. Drake definitely thinks he's a bad. One thing we know for sure is Kendrick pays attention to the memes. He pays attention to the internet. Because we've been saying Drake's a bad for years. This run of bars is also really fire. I love him to death. And that ain't bars. I'll explain that phrase. It's nothing nobody can tell me. I don't want to talk on no celly. You know I got language barriers. There's no accent you can sell me. Which is him pointing at Drake's multiple fake accents, which I don't feel like people talk about enough. Drake can speak 9 different dialects, and just no matter where he is in the world, he's gonna just pick up on their accent. It's weird, and nobody ever really talks about it. Yeah, Cole and Aubrey know I'm selfish. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. Kendrick said he was gonna explain it. I love him to death. Melly loves his friends to death. Love him so much that you might kill them. Like Melly allegedly. I ain't alleged. He did that shit. Call that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. You're better off spinning again on him. You think about pushing me. Kendrick is also saying what we've all been saying. Like, Drake, why are you going after Kendrick? Why not push a T? I just always think back to Drake on the podcast being like,
where I was making.
In Drake's, he about to explain. I'm about to say, in Drake's defense, he did make a diss track and he wanted to put it out, but so many people around him was like, nah, that's too far. That's doing too much. Don't do it. So, you know, he took their advice. So it's not like he wasn't ready for the smoke. He wasn't ready to retaliate because he wanted to, but he was just advised not to.
In the record, in response, which was a real record, I know people think it's like some myth, and I just found myself saying things that, like, one seemed really out of character just because I was really deeply invested in the situation and getting very angry, and saying things that I don't know if in 2 years I'd want to hear myself say.
Really? Oh, I might have made that whole story. Maybe he no, I feel like I watched a video where he said people also advised him. So I don't know. In this clip, he's trying to make it seem like, you know, he came to that decision himself and he was so wise and being like, let me be the mature one. Let me be the bigger person. I feel like he was advised.
Really? Just drop the record, bro. Kendrick says that people know him as a lover, but he's a hater too. I hate the way you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way you dress. I hate the way you sneak diss. And this is where I'm doubling down on my thought that people are going to use this little run of bars as a way to devalue Kendrick's diss because it's blunt and direct rather than being some quintuple entendre. Again, people thought this was going to be this insanely deep writing that you needed an explanation for, but there's pretty much nothing in this song that you really need an explanation for. Like, it's very clear. So for a lot of people, it's gonna seem like their expectations were not met. Like, look at my word for word prediction. People will be like, damn, really took him 2 weeks to come up with this? This is what he was waiting for? And then look at this tweet. Can't believe Kendrick made his fans wait all this time for this Drake response. Drake was playing chess, bro. He knows all of you are bots.
Exactly!
Your words are predictable. Now, I did want Kendrick to make more of a pop record, but I personally like that Kendrick went more simple. It's Drake. He doesn't need to prove to the world or to Drake that he is a better writer and rapper than him. Speaking of writers, Kendrick talks heavily about Drake's ghostwriters, which is something that's been talked about for years. Ain't 20v1. It's 1v20 if I gotta smack dudes that write with you. Yeah, bring 'em out too. I clean him out too. Tell Beam that he better stay right with you. Drake probably has more than 20 ghostwriters. But Beam is a renowned songwriter who was also on my first album. Okay?
You got an album?
Not to brag, but Drake uses Beam. Kendrick alleges that Drake needs Beam to make his hits, as Beam wrote Rich Flex and Major Distribution. And, you know, Beam also threw me a little song from my album a few years ago.
I was like, wrote your shit too?
And it's fire. You should listen to it. Kendrick also said, we ain't gotta get personal. This a friendly faith. You should keep it that way. I wasn't a big fan of this. Like, Kendrick saying that they shouldn't get personal in the diss track, in my opinion, was like kind of breaking the entertainment value a little bit. We all know Drake and Kendrick are not going to be fighting and shooting each other, but like, you don't have to say it.
I don't think that's what he meant. I already said. I'm not repeating myself. But I don't think that's what he meant, Patrick. He's not saying we ain't got to take it to the streets. It's not what he's saying. I said what I think he meant.
He said, I know some shit about dudes that make Gunna wanna look like a saint. Now, the public thinks that Gunna snitched on the YSL organization, but Kendrick is hinting that he knows some shit about snitching or federal informants in Drake's life, but he doesn't say it here. And you will notice in this track multiple times, Kendrick says that he could say more, like, if you taking it there, I'm taking it further. Like, bro, this is a 6-minute song. If you have more to say, now would be the time to say it. I also like how Kendrick continuously compliments Drake while dissing him. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough.
They say like back to
back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really crashed something. Now, there's been a rumor for years that Diddy once slapped Drake, and Chubbs is Drake's head of security. So Kendrick is like, let's see if Chubbs will do anything to protect you. Still love when you see success. Everything with me is blessed. Keep making me dance, waving my hand, and it won't be no threat. Again, he's just complimenting him. Try and cease and desist on the like that and
this is a compliment and a diss. It's like, nigga, stay in your yo sing-songy ass lane. Stay in your lane where you just making music that, you know, we dance along to. King, you know what I mean? That's how I take that. Like, nigga, stick with that.
It won't be no threat. Again, he's just complimenting him. Try and cease and desist on the like that record. Oh, what? You ain't like that record? Back to back, I like that record. I guess Drake tried to copyright strike or take down like that for some reason or somehow. I'm not really sure if that's true.
But how
Kendrick
can you do
again
that?
compliments Drake and says that he liked his back-to-back record, which was a diss track against Meek Mill. Let your core audience stomach that. Didn't tell him where you get your abs from. BBL Drizzy? Okay. Did Drake get fake ab implants? Was Rick Ross telling the truth?
Everybody has
Drake
said
BBL
that.
paperwork coming soon.
Nah,
Then throughout the
BBL
track,
paperwork.
Kendrick also made fun of Toronto slang in this sort of mocking way, saying the word crody and said, you gotta be cheesin', fam. Perhaps Kendrick is trying to ignite the new East Coast versus West Coast beef, but it's Toronto versus
Right,
LA.
what?
Kendrick also said that he hangs out at a popular Toronto Chinese food spot called New Ho King. He also addressed Drake alleging that Kendrick is being extorted by his label. He also had a run of bars calling Drake a deadbeat dad. And that rap is not the only thing Kendrick cares about because he is too busy raising his son. W Father Kendrick. Now there are people in my comments of my last video saying, oh, this video aged like milk. But I'm sticking to everything that I'm saying.
Kendrick did what?
This video aged like milk, but I'm sticking to everything that I said in that video. Overall, Kendrick's angles in this record were not that shocking because nobody can outdo Pusha T and what he revealed to the world. All of the angles that Kendrick took in this record we have heard before. We've heard them for years from other people, from people on Twitter.
I mean, nobody was expecting this to be an expose and for him to reveal some interesting information or some tea about Drake that we didn't know about. He didn't do that to Kendrick either, so why would we put that expectation on Kendrick? I'm gonna head up. I already gave my thoughts, alright? I talked for a very long time already on Patreon, and even on this fucking reaction, I've already said a lot as well, but I will just leave with this last thing. I feel like Kendrick did have a more simple approach But I feel like the beauty in that is he was able to be simple and deep at the same time. And deep, not as far as like profound, deep, blow my mind, but deep as far as dig deeper with his disses. Like he just went into so much detail and just attacked Drake's character at every turn versus Drake like, oh, you got little ass feet and you short. And Metro, shut your whole ass up, you know? So I just feel like, whatever. I gave my opinion. I said what I said, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But you know, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about the diss track or whatever, and who you think actually won. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.